There are quite a few Dalek episodes in Classic Who, and while they don't show up as often as you might assume, the Daleks still have a considerable list of appearances from 1963 to 1989. In this video, we will be looking at my ranking of the top 5 Dalek episodes from Classic Doctor Who, but first I'll include an honourable mention: the Daleks. The first Dalek episode in the history of Doctor Who deserves recognition for many reasons, even if it doesn't quite break into my top 5 Dalek episodes list. The eerie introduction to the paranoid, murderous creatures that inhabit Skaro is a great watch, and while 7 parts is perhaps a bit too long, with the pacing dragging somewhat in the middle, it's still a fantastic debut for the Daleks in Doctor Who. But now onto the ranking proper. Number 5. Revelation of the Daleks. Eric Saywood's delightfully grim yet morbidly hilarious epic spins a complex web of characters, settings and sinister motives involving Davros, the Daleks, a pair of honourable master assassins, a devious businesswoman and her devoted secretary, a body snatcher trying to discover the truth behind their father's disappearance, a deranged funeral attendant who is obsessed with their boss, and a homesick DJ who just wants a friend. The Doctor and Peri stumble into this colourful tapestry of a Dalek story and set off a chain of events that almost destroys everything and changes the future of the Daleks and Davros forever. The best part is, with the new effects, the epic Dalek battles at the climax of this story can be experienced with modern effects. Number 4. The Power of the Daleks. The first Second Doctor story is also the best Dalek story of the 1960s, and the animated reconstruction of this episode brings the lost classic back to life with gorgeous Dalek animation and a wonderful restoration of the original audio. The Daleks are shown to be at their most sinister and manipulative yet, and writer David Whittaker establishes many of the aspects of the Daleks' personality that shine in the best Dalek stories of classic and modern Who. Despite being 6 parts long, The Power of the Daleks is well paced and features enough intrigue and action to keep the plot engaging throughout. Plus, the Dalek voices in this story are among the best in all of classic Who. For casual fans and Dalek fanatics alike, there is no reason not to love The Power of the Daleks. Number 3. Day of the Daleks. Choosing a favourite from the 3 John Pertwee Dalek episodes is difficult, as demonstrated in a previous video dedicated to that topic on this channel. However, the special edition of Day of the Daleks beats out its 2 sisters, Death to the Daleks due to Day's more engaging story and pacing, and Planet of the Daleks due to Day's shorter runtime and more original story. Day of the Daleks pits the 3rd Doctor, Jo Grant and the Unit Gang against a time travel plot that threatens all of humanity, with the Daleks puppeteering the whole thing using brainwashed humans and Ogrons to do their bidding, while the 3rd faction of human guerrilla fighters from the future tries to interfere with the Daleks' plans in the past. While the original version of this story suffered from poor Dalek voices and a shortage of props, the special edition fixes many of these problems with new effects, new sound mixing, and entire new sequences filmed using the original location and camera equipment. Day of the Daleks really is an underrated gem that, when experienced in its enhanced form, is among the best Dalek episodes in the show's history. Number 2. Genesis of the Daleks. Often regarded as the best Dalek story, perhaps even the greatest Doctor Who episode of all time, Genesis of the Daleks is a wonderful illustration of the horror of the Daleks. The tragic tale of how the universe's most hateful and vicious creatures were created unfolds on the tattered radioactive landscape of Skaro, the claustrophobic soulless hallways of the Khaled bunker, and the dank, decrepit tunnels beneath what remains of the city on Skaro. Despite the best efforts of the Doctor, Sarah Jane and Harry, the Thal and Khaled civilizations are reduced to rubble by the ruthless and Machiavellian Davros and his brutal aide Nida, in one of the greatest allegories for the fall of civilization and the rise of fascism ever created. Genesis of the Daleks is, without a doubt, one of the greatest Doctor Who episodes ever made, but there is one classic Dalek story that surpasses it. Number 1. Remembrance of the Daleks. While not possessing the same grim tone and nihilistic atmosphere of Genesis of the Daleks, Remembrance of the Daleks is brilliant for a whole different reason. This episode celebrates 25 years of Doctor Who history with a wonderful Dalek runaround, set in 1963 and featuring many callbacks to the show's past. However, this episode also furthers a then modern Dalek story, the ongoing saga of the Dalek Civil War between Davros' Imperial Daleks and the Renegade Daleks led by the Dalek Supreme. The scale of Dalek versus Dalek action in this episode is legendary and has never been surpassed even to this day. The special weapons Dalek, the Dalek firefights, the ups and downs and twists and turns of the struggle between the 2 Dalek factions, and the scheming 7th Doctor leading Ace around the battlefield, manipulating events to suit his own ends, all combine to make this episode one of the best Dalek stories ever made. And the story is enhanced by the wonderful range of supporting characters: Gilmore, Rachel, Alison, Mike, and even random one-off characters like the blind priest and the cafe employee that the Doctor talks to, all help to make the world of Remembrance of the Daleks feel alive and vibrant. If you've never seen Classic Who before and you want to know what the best Dalek episode to watch is, Remembrance of the Daleks is the best choice without a doubt. What do you think of this Dalek episode ranking? What are your favourite Dalek stories? Let me know in the comments below.